Welcome to Acuboost, an IIG product. Acuboost are IIG's embedded software enhancements for the Acumatica ERP product. Today we're going to go over container tracking. What this program does, it allows you to create container transactions based on products that would be shipped in that container. The user has the ability to load complete purchase orders, specific lines of purchase orders, or partial quantities of a purchase order line. Then I start entering a landed cost transaction, container transaction. I will start by entering the container number. Notice that the vendor number is not required since you have the ability to receive multiple vendors' purchase orders in a given transaction. We have added container status ID, and what this does, it allows you to enter the status of the container. If it's in the planning phase where you're going to send to your broker what product should be shipped to you in that container, or it's on air, or it's on the water, you have the ability to, using this status ID, know the status of the container. Next, you have the ability to enter some dates into the system, and this is informational dates entered in system, expected departure, the actual departure, when it did actually leave, the expected arrival. So if it's going to be receiving at the March 20th, and you can enter the actual date when it did arrive. It's to be in the proper month. So it cannot be before the shipment date, departure date. And so the payment due date, again, when is the payment due for this transaction, and custom entry number, the custom due date, and on and on. And notice that additional fields become available. Again, this is information that you enter to track the container's status at any time during the process. Once we enter this information, then we can enter the items, what items are being received. So in this example, I have entered a couple of purchase orders here, purchase order 33 and 32 that I've entered, and I will be receiving one of them as a completely and one of them as a partial receiving. So here I'll be able to change this and mark one as ship complete and the other one as not a ship complete, just received, and I can do it at PO and close. And notice that for the PO that I had ship completed, it's also loaded the quantities. Here for this one, I can enter 60, and maybe on this one I just deleted the line. That line would not be coming our way. So I have the ability to save this, and anytime from PO, users can drill down and see the information. You can view the PO from here as to exactly when you will be receiving the product, what items are on the product. In the coming weeks and months, we will be adding to this enhancement ability to process in transit inventory. So basically, in that situation, since a lot of vendors, a lot of customers have FOB foreign dock, that would allow them to receive the inventory in transit warehouse at the vendor's FOB cost, and when the product is received in the main warehouse, it will take that out and receive it in the actual landed cost. So that product is in testing. We should be able to release it soon. The next thing you enter is landed cost information. So you basically are entering the costing information for this container. If you paid $6,000 brokerage, if you paid overseas or domestic transportation for any amount, what the system is going to do is going to take this information, this cost, and it's going to allocate them to the different lines on the container. So you have this information. Also, we're in the process of adding the ability to create the accounts payable invoices for the landed cost information entered from here. So everything could be just easily managed from inside the landed cost information. So far, we've created a transaction. We entered the date information. We've entered some costing. We've entered items, what POs it's going to come. The next thing we do, when the product is received, you have the ability to do receiving in the warehouse. And that basically, the way it works out is users will be able to just basically enter when the product is received 20 of this, 78 of this, and 60 of this, and save it. So this is now in the warehouse. Folks are receiving the information as they're emptying the container. They're entering what they've received. Coming back to my landed cost transaction, I have the ability to import this information. So this 40, 80, and 60 numbers, as I import my containers, notice that that number changed to 78 based on what was actually counted by the person in the receiving as they did their job. The next thing I'm able to do for this transaction is be able to print the report if I want to. I can see the information exactly as to what happened, and then I can go back to my container transaction at any time as needed, remove it off the hold. Notice that when I remove it off the hold, that enter PO receipt becomes available. And what this does, it gives me the ability to actually create the receipt of good transactions, one for each vendor, based on the information that I've entered in each PO. So basically, this enhancement gives us the ability to create a container transaction as it is. Enter from what PO, what products we'll be receiving, enter cost, landed cost, allocate them to the lines, keep track of the date information. As I mentioned, in testing is the ability to process in transit for companies that have product, they have their FOB and foreign doc, as well as ability to just create the AP accounts payable invoices for the entered information right from here. I thank you for the opportunity to show you this product.